Welcome back to the Q5 and part 2 of the game maps tutorial. We left off at field position, marked by boxes, and now we move on to grading the drives with the drive queue. This is what our metric at the Q5 does. It grades drives based on very specific performance criteria. The drive queue is established by taking into account several key elements like yardage covered by the drive, the outcome, and starting field position. We continue to use Super Bowl 49. Again, up top on the drive queue, we mark these grades with circles. Very quickly, you might notice that not all touchdowns are graded the same, even though they're all worth 6 points on the scoreboard. Going 95 yards for a touchdown is a bigger show of strength than going 65 yards. It sends a bigger message to the opponent. Conversely, starting a drive in your opponent's territory and not scoring a touchdown is a show of strength by your opponent. Now, there will be times when this is not true, end of the half, end of the game, but the visualizations created by game maps is a big picture perspective of the action. This map is meant to tell you how that game-winning 2-minute drive came into existence. Now, some might say if you're not scoring points, you aren't doing anything. Not true, because at the very least, every drive has an effect on field position. Special teams are obviously involved here too. Winning teams will consistently create better field position than their opponents. With the heavy part of our discussion complete, now the strong visualization aspects can take over. For each drive, the starting field position box is marked in the middle of the drive, and the drive Q score is marked at the end. Again, offense and defense have separate colors. Now, there is a current feel to what is happening in a game. By the middle of the second quarter, the first few drives of the game are ancient history. Those previous drives definitely had an effect. They may have resulted in points, or if not, they certainly affected field position. But what matters right now is just the present. This is the trend queue. We take a weighted average of only the past few drives to show what is going on right now in the game. The team trend queue uses the most recent drives on both offense and defense. You begin to see how the drive queue values affect the direction of the trend queue line. Next, we calculate the game queue, which is an average of all the drive queues over the entire game. Team, offense, and defense are calculated separately. Team is the combination of offense and defense and any special team scores, misses, or turnovers. The trend queue and the game queue visualizations work together to reveal the sequence, flow, and feel of the game. Before we end this, I'll make one last point about why Q scores are useful and important. It is founded in my coaching and playing experience. On every play, either you are taking something from your opponent or he is taking something from you. There is no tie in this regard. As a coach, I use the analogy that everybody has a small coin bag out there. On every play, each player will either lose or gain coins, or both. On any given play, you might grab a lot of coins or maybe lose just one. But if you think nothing happened to your coin bag on a play, your opponent definitely got one. Same thing occurs at the drive level in a game. I'm going to keep track of the coin bags for each team and where the coins have moved, both overall and recently. Now, what about a special teams touchdown? Neither the offense or defense gets credit for it. Instead, only the team receives a strong drive queue. Same thing happens if the offense takes the ball all the way down the field and then the special teams does not convert on a field goal attempt. The offense gets a good Q score, but the team gets an additional bad Q score for the missed field goal. In the next tutorial, we will look further into Super Bowl 49 and a few other games to help you develop an even deeper understanding of game maps. Thank you again for listening and visiting the Q5. I'm Andy Guider.